Is that why we're talking about the Kang Dynasty officially falling apart to some degree? Because, okay,
I mean,
so,
I mean, I
I would
think falling
hesitate to
apart is a
say it's
strong word,
falling.
right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think right now. I think that I don't. These are one of those stories that I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's an interesting development. Clearly there's no bad will because dude's still working on Shang-Chi and the Wreckage of Time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not surprised that they're like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board here. Like again, like the MCU book talks a lot about how Bob Paycheck had a really bad habit of being like, hey, make, produce, send out. Like all the people who love to boo hoo, oh, there's so many Star Wars projects that got announced that we're never gonna see. And it's like, yeah, because they were announced before they were ready to say anything about them. Like all of that stuff was a byproduct of Bob Chapek saying, oh, do you have an idea for a Star Wars show? Tell them now.
I was going to say, what people are missing here is look at when all these announcements were made and look at fiscal year earnings calls and how they're right before it or right around them. And then realize that they were tossing these out to boost numbers. And much of this comes at us like almost the way that Zack Snyder revealed that he had to go out there and reveal the DCEU slate. He told him, he was like, wait, I thought we were just announcing Batman v Superman, not another 8 projects. They're like, just announce these and we're going to figure it out. Bob JPEG did those same things. He was like, what idea do you have? Here it is. Go toss it out there. And he tossed out terrible looking JPEGs. So what do you know? Like, same scenario.
All of that said, I think that right now Marvel is in a transitional period, both because it's in the wake of these strikes and because, so much has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so much got fast-tracked that shouldn't have been. Or fast-tracked in a way that was inappropriate, I should say. We are now looking at them going, okay, we have an opportunity right now in the wake of the strikes with Iger back in charge to catch our breath and maybe restructure a few things. Like we're seeing with Daredevil, like we're seeing with Wonder Man, like we're now seeing with the Kang Dynasty. I don't look at this as a net negative. I think that, to quote a conversation that Ken Knapsack and Alden Diaz had on their new show Anytime, which is fantastic and everybody should go check out. Talking about art and media in terms of wins and losses is really reductive and like hurts the conversation. And I hear something like, oh, like their director's stepping away and some of the writers are gone. I'm like, okay, yeah, at first glance that hurts to hear because that definitely means that Kang Dynasty is going to get kicked down the road a little bit more. But also, that means that they say something's not working here. We got to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way that that we the anytime a movie has reshoots, it's like, yes, there are movies that were notoriously reshot that were bad.
Yeah,
we don't talk about the fact that look at all these movies we love that also had extensive reshoots. Armin, you and I are both solo diehards. Like that's a different movie than the one they shot at first.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
So I am inclined to look at this story and go, oh, okay, I'm really interested to see what they're cooking. But I'm not like worried about it, like I'm just, this is a transitional period. They gotta work some new stuff out.
Yeah, the only reason why there's a negative conversation around the whole entire thing with this movie is because of Variety being like, oh, they're screwed with Kang. Like, how did they get away from Kang? Loki season 2 ends in the way they can get out of Kang. Yeah. It's like, well, that was all horse crap. So,
and that's kind of like I want to bring this conversation back around to, you look at this whole, okay, he quit the project, Marvel Studios in trouble, but here's the thing. If he's working on Shang-Chi 2 and the first film got rave reception from fans, from newcomers, and people that were, still like, I don't know about the MCU. Maybe I'll check it out. Isn't it possible that they're like, you know what? You're having too much pressure on you doing this. Go produce these things. We'll look for somebody else whose vision for what we want Kang Dynasty is not going to take away, like, resources and you from a project that you're passionate about. Like, remember, George Lucas did not direct Empire Strikes Back. Like,
nope.
And at one point, he was supposed to. And things change. And if we look back through different comic book films throughout time, go back to the original Avengers. How many people went through writing different scripts for that film? I mean, there was at one point like over a dozen people that contributed to that film. And we still got the Avengers. And directors, we got Joss Whedon, and he was like the first choice because they knew he could pull it off. But there was other people in the conversation. Like, we're kind of at that point where, again, revisionist history says that everything from 2006, when Marvel Studios started working on Iron Man and the Hulk and whatever, to 2019 was perfect. They never took a misstep. Everybody knew Guardians was going to be a $3 billion franchise in the end. Ant-Man was a character everybody loved. That's revisionist history, and they never faltered once. And people are like, oh, okay, well, when did they go wrong? It's like, remember, if it ain't right, it ain't right. Everybody was against Ant-Man. Like, Guardians was supposed to kill the MCU. The Russo brothers were the worst choice ever, and Captain America was going to be buried. But
no one liked Thor.
No,
the second Thor was so bad, no one liked him.
And now people are revisionist history, literally being like, no, Thor 2 was great. We hate the last two. Like, what?
Yeah, you could take it back even a little bit further, where people say everyone loved Iron Man. The comic book nerds loved Iron Man. Then it's like, no,
that's my favorite one. I'm like, I was in these trenches alone. How dare you?
Yes, you were.
Good thing he's dead.
It's back when Iron Man 1 was announced. I remember being in my local comic book store, and somebody put up the bootleg trailer on the TV they had, right? That leaked from San Diego Comic-Con. I was sitting there and I was like, does anybody even buy the Iron Man comics? And the owner goes, no, we don't even stock them. And literally the people watch the trailer, and my best friend laughs at it and goes, wow, Marvel Studios is really going to be dead, aren't they? I was like, maybe, I don't know. It's Iron Man. Like, I don't know. But again, revisionist history has changed perception. And what doesn't help is, like, Marvel Studios loses the director to Avengers 5. Suddenly, everything around that is bad. Nobody thinks about the good. And the bad gets the majority of the share of the voice out there. And that's the one that sticks. Yeah. He could have literally come out and go, hey, guys, I wasn't a good fit for this project because I want to focus on Shang-Chi. The article will then state, Shang-Chi 2 was in trouble. Avengers director was stretched thin. It's always the one that makes it look bad. And that's what the Avengers 5 scenario is now.
And what is so frustrating, at least to me, is that so much of that negative narrative defining reporting is happening from legacy trades.
Yep. Yeah.
Like we're getting to a point where Variety and Vanity Fair articles, their headlines are reading like Soup's video titles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is deeply disappointing.
It's because Variety's not getting anything from Marvel anymore.
It's true. Have you noticed their lack of exclusives? Like, it's all Deadline and mainly Deadline now. So
yeah, Deadline, Hollywood Reporter here and there.
Which, to be fair, should have happened a long time ago when Variety just started spoiling every movie that came out.
That's
for
true.
Whatever reason.
Yeah.
So here's our review and what happens in the movie.
Which,
thanks, Variety.
I guess going around, who's actually worried about Avengers 5? Because I'm not. I got no worries about this project.
Not even a little bit.
Like, I would really, have been about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
With how everything was going, it's like, we're going in a not great direction here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nothing's horrendously bad, but it's like, just how much we're plowing through everything. I think, like, after Loki and now that they're actually kind of taking a step back. No, I'm not worried about it in the slightest.
Yeah.
They could
Right.
make it Loki centric.
Oh, yeah.
I
With
don't
the
think
whole
they
tree
can.
thing.
Why would you go right? We've just done this thing with Loki. Let's now make him the bad guy.
Oh no, not him making him like the bad guy, but him being the centerpiece of what goes bad to
Oh, I mean,
to
he's obviously going to be. I think that's going to happen regardless because of how that ending happens. But
just not with King now. Just get like, I don't know, Madam Web. She goes there. She was like,
Oh.
you know,
Avengers 5 spunked.
Spunk War.
Spunk War. Oh,
Spunk game. Age
Secret
of
Spunk.
Spunk. Spunk assemble.
oh. This is all
Spunk Dynasty.
Spunk Dynasty.
Secret Spunk.
I can't wait till Morbius shows up and Morbs spunk all over the MCU.
Two Morb, two Spunk.
Oh, God. So, look, I think everybody gets it. We're not worried about Avengers because guess what? They haven't even started shooting. Gives them enough time now. They don't even have tentative dates anymore. Like, it's just...
If this had happened while they were shooting, it might be a different conversation. But
exactly.
yeah.
and even then, a lot of what we said would still be true. It would just be, ooh, that's a little inconvenient timing.
remember,
but hey,
at one point, Joss Whedon was working on Avengers 3. And he left because he was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And that's when they got the Russo brothers. And I remember distinctly people being like, the guys that are doing the Cap movie are going to do Avengers. It's going to be bad again because they can't do it. It's like, just stop with that. Just stop. Like, come on. You know? Same old, same old.
Yeah.